topics is duties and benefits of men and women in modern dating. So, and it says, is chivalry dead?
I don't think it's dead. I think it's just modified. Like, I think that, like, men now want the same reciprocations back. It's not that it's dead. I don't think it's dead. I just think that it's like, well, what about me too? I'm a human being too. Like, why can't I be pampered and loved the way that you want me to pamper and love you? Like, why can't you come and open up my door? Why can't you, like, pay one time? Like,
who said that?
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't think chivalry is dead. I just think that they want to modify it. Like, I think there's like modifications to it now. Like, that's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you do for me, I do for you, type thing.
I don't think it's dead, but it sure feels dead a lot of the time.
Why do you think it feels dead? Like, what about it feels dead to you?
Because the it's not the same, like Alicia said, it's modified. Like, you don't get the same just respect as you would like from an older gentleman. Like, a person just automatically opening the door and automatically pulling a chair out for you. That's not an automatic with a lot of men from my experience.
Right. Even like paying bills. Like, even when it comes to like paying for the date. Like, anymore, it's like, if I am expecting you to pay for it, then I'm looked at as like, I'm crazy. Like, I was, that chivalry of it is not like, well, why do I got to pay for it? Like, why do I have to pay for everything? So I don't know. So it's like, I would, to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to date in this time. I just wouldn't want to do it. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, I agree with you that it's been modified. It's definitely been modified a lot. I think that part of that is because the basis of chivalry was that women weren't taking care of themselves, and that women weren't either not able to or not allowed to or whatever. And so the man had to, or at least he was expected to, because the woman was not in that role. And so when women became to be more prominently in the role of, taking care of themselves or working or being more independent, then a lot of the chivalry duties that men had kind of changed or went away.
Yeah, that's cool and all.
That's cool.
That's cool and all, but
like, it wasn't charity, It wasn't like, oh, I'm just a nice guy, so I'm gonna start paying for things.
Here's a nice thing. Here's a thing, in my opinion, because I do think it's modified, and I do think it's a lot more like, well, what are you gonna do for me? And that's fine. If we're gonna go on a date and you don't really want to spend money on me because you don't know me, all right, that's cool. But come up with some free dates. Like, we really could walk through a park. Like, we really could hang out somewhere. Like, it doesn't have to be, because a guy actually told this girl I'm cool with, he was like, well, I like you a lot, but you're dating too many people, and I'm not about to spend money on you if you're dating people. That's his choice. That's his choice, but he could live, if he really likes you like that, he could really come up with something free for y'all to do, or something really inexpensive.
Look at ice cream. Spend like $2.
Yeah. Or some sort of a,
Well, break that down for them. What you mean by the loyalty thing?
Well, I think that, back in the days of where everyone was being chivalrous, or when most of people were, there wasn't a lot of free for all. I mean, a lot of times that, they pick a partner very early on, and then they just be with that person for the rest of their lives. Whereas now, people date around, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I've dated around, but I think that at some point, if if someone's expected to, be chivalrous and be giving and give a lot of their time or their resources, well, then what's on the other side of that as far as getting?
You mean the woman's side of things?
Hmm?
Are you talking about like if the man's being chivalrous, then what is the woman bringing to the table?
Sure. Like in response to that.
What's the equivalent, response to chivalry on the male side?
Sometimes we have a different idea of what chivalrous is, because to me, chivalrous, to have chivalry is you're doing the basic things like opening a door, maybe pulling out a chair. You're not like, you don't have to like get out the car and run around the car to open the door for me. But like, if we're walking in at the same time, you're opening the door, you're pulling out a chair. You might take care of the first date, whatever. To me, that's chivalry. I think some guys maybe expect it to be a little more than just being kind and considerate. I don't expect it to be any more than that. So for me, I prefer to just be ingrained in your blood that that's how you treat women naturally. Just have a natural.
We're talking about like gender roles when it comes to dating.
I get that, but what I'm asking for really isn't anything that you shouldn't already be doing anyway. I'm not.
So you're asking for a low level of
bills. You don't even have to pay for every date. Like, I'm cool with us being like, okay, I'm cool with that. So I wonder what the guys think that I'm expecting, because I just want you to be considerate and kind.
So if a man doesn't open the door, if a man doesn't open the door, then he's unkind.
No, I'm just saying, when you walk through the door, don't let it shut in my face.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, you wouldn't do that even to a stranger.
So you open the door, you walk in, you shut it. So you know what? Open your own door.
Run through.
Yeah.
I've seen it done though.
I have a question. So it appears that there is a difference of perspective when it comes to what chivalry actually is. Like, when I think of chivalry, I'm thinking of, like I mentioned, we're walking towards the door together, you step in front and open it. We're walking towards the table, you step in front and pull the chair out. I don't need the Steve Urkel. I don't need you like running in front of me to open every door, or like, I don't need you having flowers every single time we go out, because I'm awkward and I'm gonna be weird about that. I don't need all of the extras. Just like, I feel like men should have a certain natural respect for women in general, as women should have for men. And I look for men who just naturally respect women.
Okay, so that's a very broad statement. And I'm really glad we're having the 30s perspective, because for our generation, what is considered respectful of women is kind of a gray area. It's not, the generation before, Generation X and previous, boomers and whatever, there was a more defined like set of actions that, men did with women, gender roles and everything. But in terms of being chivalrous while respecting a woman's independence and strength, is something that our generation has had to deal with. My parents made sure I knew all the etiquette, like in the etiquette book that was like, thick as hell, about what is supposed to be done. Like the fact that the man is supposed to walk on the curb side of the sidewalk just in case a car jumps the curb and you're the first one to die because you're protecting the woman. And like, that's being taught. But when it comes to gender equality, which is something that was very progressive in our generation, where does the chivalry versus the equality and respect kind of mix? Like, where's it stop?
We are different. I want equality when it comes to pay, but we're different. So I feel like we got to be treated
different.
Yeah.
And I think that there's certain things, we're more delicate. We're definitely more emotional. Like there's a lot of things that don't bother men that bother women. We go through a lot of things, like, you know, just our emotions in itself. Like we have things that cause our emotions to go up and down and all over the place. So I feel that we are different and we should be treated different. And, you know, do I feel that a man should wait on a woman hand and foot? No, I don't feel that way at all. I feel that having just a respect for women, and when